0 degrees, just left the sign of Cancer. So Venus here at 0 degrees in your astrology is in the 10th house, and it's in the disseminating phase within the lunation cycle. And within this phase, the soul must adhere to the customs of the modern realized society one is born into. So if you start from the rising sign, and each lunation phase is 45 degrees, so generally speaking, each house is 30 degrees. So right here, 30, and then you go half a house, right there, 45, and then you go over to the next house, and then over, and cover 45 more degrees, which takes you to the point of the next house, which, a house and a half is 45 degrees and is one lunation cycle. So 3 houses would be 2 lunation cycles. So 1, 2, 3, another 3 would be 6. That would be 4 lunation cycles. And then 1, 2, 3 more. That would be 5, 6 lunation cycles. And then 3 more, 1, 2, 3, would get back to the rising sign, your Scorpio ascendant, and that would be 8 lunation cycles. So here, Venus is right here at the 6th lunation cycle in evolutionary astrology, and that represents the disseminating phase for the soul within the lunation cycle. So here within this phase, just a general description, the soul must adhere to the customs of the modern realized society one is born into. The soul must now learn how the society functions so it can socially integrate to fulfill the soul's role within its society. So now we have Venus, 0 degrees Leo, 10th house, making a 235 degree sesquiquadrate aspect over to Neptune, 24 degrees retrograde in the sign of Pisces, your 5th house. So I saw this aspect, and you can, it's the astrology, a circle is 360 degrees, so it's pretty easy to count within it and then see, according to the signs, 30 degrees each, or the houses, and then the degree of the planet, and count and see whether it's going to make an aspect or not. So Neptune does make a 335 degree aspect, which is a sesquiquadrate. And a sesquiquadrate is, it's a square and a half. Even the symbol for the sesquiquadrate is a square, and then it has like 2 lines like that because it's half a square. So 235 degrees, and if you think a square is 90 degrees, 90, let's see, it's actually about 2.5 squares, a sesquiquadrate. Yeah, because if a square is 90 degrees, 90 and 90, that's 180, and the sesquiquadrate is 235 degrees. That's 2 squares with an extra 55 degrees. And that's about 2.5 squares, roughly. So a sesquiquadrate is yeah, I mean, quadrate means square, and sesqui could almost mean the square is squared. So it would be more intense or more challenging than just a normal square here, of course. So, and in my opinion, is probably because it's kind of approaching, if we look at Venus here, if it was making a square aspect to something 30, 60, 90 degrees, and you know, excuse me, I have to rewind. I made a mistake. No wonder. No, actually, no. Excuse me. Fast forward. So, pause play. Okay, so Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. So yes, 30, 60, 90 degrees is a square. It would be, you know, to the next fixed area of your chart, fixed sign. That would be a pretty basic square here. Like we could take, for example, the sun here, 19 degrees Leo, in your 10th house, and south node right here in Scorpio, your first house. That's making a natural, you know, like a 90-degree square, pretty much, almost exact. A couple of degrees off, but a square nonetheless. You know, and that's 90 degrees, three houses. The reason why the sesquiquadrate is more intense, in my opinion, more challenging to overcome, is because it's in an area of your chart, Neptune, right here, where it's almost like you can't really see the challenge. It could be really a surprise to you because it's almost behind you, but it's coming up and you're approaching it. So it's like almost a bit of a shock to overcome as well. So there's something added to it because it's unknown or very foreign. At least with this square, you know, it's going to be like, you know, a test at school and you just have to prepare for it. You're not prepared for the sesquiquadrate, which is like 2.5 squares, 235 degrees. So, yes, what I had wrote down here for this, you know, disseminating phase aspect, sesquiquadrate between Venus 0 degrees Leo and Neptune 24 degrees retrograde in Pisces, your 5th house. In the disseminating phase, I put here the soul must learn the values of one's external obligations regarding work and career, which is 10th house right here, where Venus entered in Leo at 0 degrees. Leo representing, you know, value to some degree, but also Venus definitely representing value. And the sesquiquadrate over to Neptune 24 degrees retrograde in Pisces up here. 5th house should refrain from illusion/delusion, Neptune and Pisces, because here in the 5th house the energy of marching to the beat of one's own drum is present, because the 5th house does represent the energy of Leo. It's Leo's natural, you know, home, and the zodiac is the 5th house. So marching to the beat of someone's own drum here is present, and also the 5th house carries a sense of spontaneity or childlike behavior, which in this case must be kept in check. Okay. And also with Neptune and Pisces energy, a dreamy-like disposition could be challenging in a work atmosphere. 10th house, that requires a lot of structure. Yes. So that's what I have for your evolutionary astrological highlight, Scorpio. So now for the prediction here. I have the full moon is activating your 10th house. So down here again, the full moon, the sun being in your 10th and the moon being in your 4th, conjuncts the Saturn retrograde 22 degrees Aquarius 4th house. A phrase that came to my mind as I gazed at the layout in your chart was suspended in time. I just want to note that all your angular houses are fixed on this cross here again, and your foundation with emotional inner security moon is needing to be stabilized, Saturn, by detaching a bit, Aquarius. The full moon with Saturn here in the 4th house has culminated a secured and safe place for you to detach from the external so you can drop your guard and relax. The sun in the 10th down here is requiring a lot from you,